Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a slightly different setup. I'm angling it this way more to avoid the sun here, as you can see. So hopefully this works out a little bit better. I really can't see myself, but I'm in frame, I'm in the middle, so I'm hoping that this is good. And I think this is very natural lighting, so I think the color payoff and everything will look good. But today is very exciting. We have the Shroud and Beautbean. It's Freakin Bats eyeshadow palette. I don't want to talk about how I obtained this, but basically I didn't have it and now I do, and that's that on that, period. So yeah, it came in the box, it came with a card, and yeah, it came with a little plastic thing. We've got a mirror here, there you are, there's my setup, and here's the palette. As you can see, I've already dug into it. I will insert some swatches right now. Okay, so those were the swatches for the palette. And yeah, I'm excited. I tested it out last night with a couple different eyeshadow bases. I have learned that the mattes are a little tricky. They're a little tricky, so we are going to try our best. I'm gonna try to go into it with no expectations. All I want is for my eyelids to be purpley duochrome goodness. So my plan for today, it's going to be probably the most, not used, but the easiest thought of look. We're gonna take Spooky and put that all over the crease. We're gonna put Dairy a little bit on the lash line on the outside, and then we're gonna put Zero all over the lid. In the inner corner, we're gonna do Sam. So I'm going to take the ABH eyeshadow primer, and let's scooch in, and let's hope that we don't get any crazy sunlight. I'm very excited. I just ran to do this. I'm wearing my workout clothes still, but I gotta take advantage. I didn't even take my workout ring off because my husband is running some errands, which means the house is quiet, so we can take advantage of that. Okay, so we're going to apply this liberally. Yeah. Well, we're just gonna put this on like so. And I find that this eyeshadow base kind of applies a little bit tricky too on the inner cut. Okay, that looks pretty good, looks pretty good. So pretty much we're gonna blow Spooky out into the crease, and I think I'm going to, let's go into some like good old faithful kind of brushes. So let's take the Smith 230 brush and we're gonna dip into it. It's very powdery eyeshadow, but you know what? Sometimes that happens, and we're gonna go into this look with no expectations, you guys. We are gonna go into it with zero expectations, emphasis on the zero, because that's the shimmer we're gonna use, because it's beautiful. And yeah, this is like a periwinkle kind of blue. These, according to the interweb, these are very hard to formulate. However, I own a few from a few different brands, and some of them I really enjoy. So yes, it might be hard to formulate, but how come a few brands that I know have formulated it well? Are you catching my drift? You know what I'm saying? So I also feel like I do want to apologize. On a few of my videos, I've had like lower energy, and I feel like I'm just kind of stuck saying like and I'm just staring off into the distance, disassociating. But you know, I'm like that. That's life. That's life sometimes. But I really want to try to be my full authentic self on here, because that's why I want this platform. That's why I use this and Instagram. I just want to be me and make friends and help other people, whether it be with advice or a big thing that I use these outlets for is swatches. When I try a new indie brand, I will Google and research swatches on Instagram, Reddit, and here on YouTube, and sometimes I can't find things, and that's what makes me want to buy them. Like there's a handful of things from Beautbean Cosmetics I did order, and I felt like I just couldn't find a lot of reviews of it, and I wanted more. I wanted more reviews, so I decided I will make the reviews. You know? Maybe it helps that I'm not using a super zoomed in mirror. I think that this looks great. For what it is, it's doing what I need it to do. And you know what? For that, I am content. Okay, I'm gonna take a smudgy brush. This is the Nabla Lash Line Smudger, and I'm gonna pick up Dairy. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit because, again, I just want this to add a darker base for the outer V. I don't really want to blend this shade necessarily. I just want there to be a little bit of depth beneath the shadow. I would say I created 4 looks with this palette last night, just messing around. So and I used every single shade. And then I watched a handful of reviews, and I don't want to say I was looking for negative reviews, but I was looking for people who were struggling like me in certain aspects of this palette so that I would know, maybe get some advice on what base to use, or just like any helpful hints for the palette to reach its full potential, you know? Okay. I guess it's a good thing that this blends away because I messed up a little bit on the edge there. So I'm glad I'm able to fix that. Big news for you guys. I actually had a interview yesterday for a job, and I'm really excited because, as you know, I moved last year, and moving is hard. Firstly, moving is hard. Moving in a pandemic is extra hard. So I'm very excited that I was able to have an opportunity, and if it does go through, that's going to be awesome because it will be a lot of things that I love. No, it is not doing hair currently, but that just takes time. License transfers take a silly amount of time, you guys. Did you know that? Probably not, but it is a pain in the booty. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. Okay, so let's take the Morphe M421, one of my favorite brushes for doing like the concealer or cut crease things like that. It's a really good brush for that. We're gonna scoop up, I do 2 little dots, so we're scooping up the first little dot, and we are just going to place this all over. Okay, I hope I'm in frame. I purposely move so the light didn't mess with my, I'm sorry, you guys. I would film at night, but I don't like the way that looks. I don't have a proper setup. It's really just I do have a studio light, like a ring light from a tripod that I have. Okay, so I think I'm going to take the shade 0 on my finger today. And we are just going to apply it, but also rub it in to help some of the duochromeness come out. I hope I'm in frame. Okay. Let's take a little bit of Spooky, put that back. So that's one strange thing, in my opinion, that I've noticed with the palette is where the shimmer touches the matte when I apply it with the finger, it comes off. But when I apply it with the brush, it doesn't come off nearly as bad. So I'm not sure what that's about. Also, I think the shimmers are a little hard pressed, and for some reason, applying them with a brush, I feel like end up looking more duochrome-y. And I am gonna pull some of the duochrome up into the crease because I just want this to be, I want to bathe in this color. You guys. Oh my god, that's so beautiful. So let's do the glitter glue on this eye. And again, I'm sorry about this lighting. Okay, I'm just gonna use a brush on this side so you guys can see the difference. It picks up so much better on a brush, first of all. Like, just getting it from the, oh my god, do you see? Oh my god. Do you see that? Oh my god. And see, with this eye, nothing came off. So when I use a finger, it removes the matte shadow, which is kind of crappy because I really enjoy using my finger to apply shimmers, but what can you do? I do want to say I am going to be doing a duping for this, and I'm mainly going to be duping the purples. I already have one dupe from Shroud Cosmetics. This is Sam. And it's for sure a dupe, you guys. It's pretty crazy. And then I've got a bunch of shadows from Terra Moons, hopefully coming by the end of the month. That is such a... I'm not a big green person, but this shade of green is so beautiful. I've used it across my lid too. I did a look yesterday, actually, where I did Sam on the inner half of the eye and then Grim on the outer half of the eye, and I just kept merging them together. It was stunning. It was stunning. Oh wow, we took that green up a little high. Oh dear. Oh dear. Nothing a little blending brush can't fix. And I'm going to go back in with the smudger and take a little bit of the shade Dairy and just kind of press it along the lower lash line just for depth, just for, just that little bit. Oh, they've been picking me up. So when I look forward, you see a little bit of depth. Yeah, I like that. All right, I think that that's it for the eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face. Okay, so this is the completed eye look. I just threw on some mascara, nothing too crazy. So overall, today was a lot better than the looks I did last night. So keep in mind, I did 4 looks yesterday. So this is the 5th time I've used this eyeshadow palette on my eyes. So I went into it knowing, okay, gotta use a different primer. I hadn't used the ABH primer with this palette yet, and in my opinion, I feel like it worked out really well. Maybe it's because it's a white base. Maybe it's just a little bit tackier than, say, the P. Louise base. It worked, so I will definitely continue to use this base with it. The mattes are a little hard to work with. If you can see, how powdery Spooky is right now. So you can't see that, I'm sorry. There is a lot of kickback, but you know, I didn't have any fallout on my face. The only fallout I got was from Sam in the inner corner, and it fell right here, which totally makes sense. I do feel like the shimmers are very, very hard pressed, and I feel like they don't work well with the finger, because the 3 times that I've tried applying one of the shimmer shades with my finger, it didn't really come off of my finger and stick to my eye, and when I did that, it removed the matte shadow where the shimmer touched. So that was a little bit weird. However, the Smith 253 brush, as I always say, is so good for laying down shimmer, and this picks up the shimmer really, really well for it being somewhat hard pressed. Overall, I'm excited. I'm really glad that this look worked out because, again, I had a lot more negative feelings towards the palette from the test runs I did last night. There was one I did that came out good. I think that's up on my Instagram, but I just feel like you have to go into it knowing. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, be prepared to use a base with it, and a certain kind of base. Again, I had a good experience with the ABH eye primer. I do think they sell this in minis. I don't know why I got this a while ago and I actually really like it, so I'm glad I tried it. I don't know how it would work with a concealer base, but if it's a light enough concealer, like a white shade, it might work because of the tack. But I don't know. So overall, I'm happy to have this. I love the shimmers. I do have to say 0 is going to be a very, very, very hard shade to dupe. And I understand why people have had trouble duping this palette. But overall, I'm glad that I got it, and I'm excited to do more looks with it, and I hope that maybe this was helpful. It's not a perfect palette, but nothing is. And every formula is different for each person, because someone might love the way that these mattes work on them, you know? So don't be mean to people if they say they love it or they hate it, because that doesn't make any sense. But overall, it's a good palette, and the shimmers are really, really stunning once you get them on the eye. And again, I would recommend using a brush. So if you guys want me to do more looks with this palette, please comment down below and like this video. Definitely check out my Instagram for more looks. I try to post a look 3 to 4 days a week over there. Sometimes it's a lot more and sometimes it's a little less because, you know, life happens. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Bye.